Welcome to Become an Idol. I'm Dr. Robin Sargent, owner of Idol Courses. This is the place where newbies come to learn and veterans share their knowledge. I have here with me today Nancy Varshini, and I met Nancy. First we discussed talk through LinkedIn, but then she enrolled in the Idol Courses Academy, and I just saw Nancy just knock it out and become an idol so fast. And she is actually the first Academy student to become an idol from India. And so I just wanted to bring her on to share her story and what she's doing now. And so, Nancy, would you please introduce yourself better than I just did?
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi Idol. I'm really happy to be in Robin's podcast. And my name is Nancy Preetha Varshini. I'm from India. I'm basically I'm a senior instructional designer. I work with the government organization now, my Indian government organization in my state.
I love it. Okay, so let's get into. Everybody else, like, why not? Just let's jump in there. Tell us your story. Tell us, like, how long before you joined the academy. Like, what were you doing to become an instructional designer? Like, I want to hear your struggle and then your victory.
Okay, so it was a evening, might be okay. It was actually I was going through a rough phase in my life. My husband met with an accident. I'm a mother and I was looking for a career change. So far, I've never looked for an option. I was a trainer. I was a soft skill trainer. I was into L&D, learning and development, and I took a break 4 years. I was wondering what to do, and I was nowhere. And then I was thinking of what should I do now, because the training field is getting down in India. We don't have much openings for the trainers. So at the time, I was in a very crucial part of my life where I was forced to get into a job, and I was looking for something that I'm a person who always surf into online. Okay, some opportunities where I can fit in. That moment, I saw something in ATD which mentioned instructional design. So I went more into that. What is design? Because I love designing, but what is instructional design? And that is how I started this journey. But when I started, I thought, okay, this is not something that I would be able to do it. So instructional design is something vast. So I did not have any background of instructional design. I was searching and searching. Still, I couldn't find much information because it was ATD was really costly for me. I couldn't do a certification. And then I started browsing more. What is ATD? What is ADDI's model? What is instructional design theories? And again, I went to Coursera. I went to edX. I learned many things online. But still, I was not clear. How do people become an instructional designer? What are they exactly they're doing? Who are they? Because I'm a trainer, I know what is an L&D. How do we do a training need analysis? But what do an instructional designer do? I was really clueless. At that moment, I saw a podcast from Idol, okay, with that music around. That was really good. Um, that was a first breaking moments for me to know about instructional designing. What is instructional design? And that is more. I think that is what Idol's podcast is all about. I think I saw your first podcast. I heard your podcast and I started following it. I started taking up my own diary, and then I started taking notes how to become. I started following each and every notes one by one. I started taking up, okay, how their journeys and everything was covered in the Idol podcast. Then moving on to it, I started following your academy. I started following you in LinkedIn. I was in Facebook. I was in instructional design. So I always do. I'm a self-taught learner. I always learn by myself. So I started following each and everybody. That is the moment when I saw your post that you're starting an academy and people started sharing their journey. I thought it was really interesting. First moment, I did not leap into it. I did not take up an Idol course directly. Academy, I was little reluctant and I was really scared. Will this teach me everything? Because it's an abroad course. This is not from India. I'm paying a huge amount because the dollars are really high. Will I be able to pay it? Will this course really match? Because when some of the courses, when we sign up, it won't match our expectations. I was really thinking about it a longer time. Then I signed up for the portfolio course. That was the biggest changing moment in my life, because I really wanted to bring up a portfolio and did not know anything about design. But that is where I realized I know a lot, because I was using Canva for a longer time. but I was never implementing something that I know in Canva. I was visually designing everything, every courses that I used to do, I used to design using Canva. So I thought, okay, I can do much more than this. Whatever the steps that you've given in Idol Academy, how to build your own portfolio, was something that I already had. But I never knew this is all the steps. So what I did was I started following each and every step, and I found, okay, this is the right moment for me to get a leap into the instructional design, because you have easily narrated everything, you have put everything on the place. The Idol course was exactly what I was looking for. You have guided me like a what it was like. It was like a baby step for me. You were helping me to walk actually in Idol. I was just crawling somewhere, and I found a path, and I was helped. I was guided. Were leading me through your hands actually. So every day it was in a different time zone. I'm a mother, and my husband met with an accident recently. I was juggling in life, but still I managed to attend all the workshops and everything properly. I took up everything, every lessons. Even I spoke to you with a trembling voice. I still remember. Do you have the spirit, Nancy? I still remember the same voice Robin spoke to me. You believe in yourself. So that was the moment I never used, I am a very low confident person. I never believe in myself. So yeah, I thought this is some moment that I have to start believing in myself. So I took up my planner. I started working out. I started reading, writing all the works, the Canva designs, an articulate storyline. Now I can design something in articulate storyline. I know Canva in and out of Canva. I can do any visual designs. I can interpret a storyboard. I can do much things in storyboard. Whatever the content that you give me, any raw content, I can create it into a visual storyboard. So that is a level that I've grown because of the Idol Academy now. So I'm not that great in a language. Because I'm not a native English speaker, but still I managed to do a lot of scripting. I do a lot of English language storyboards. I'm sorry I've taken a lot of time, Robin.
Oh my gosh, Nancy, your story has it's like make me cry. It's not usual that I get teary-eyed on a podcast episode, but just hearing the way that you told that story, it has touched me.
Okay.
No, it's beautiful.
Thank
So
you.
anyway.
Actually, I was nowhere. I was nothing actually when I started this, actually, Robin, because I did not have money also. Because I'm paying my loans for this Idol Academy. But I before I could complete the course, I don't even have a level 1 badge also, because I don't have time, because I'm getting more clients. I'm working on storyboards. I'm working on development, because I couldn't build my own portfolio first. Before that, I'm getting more projects. So I'm more busy in earning money now rather than putting my effort onto my portfolio. I'm working with different people, different instructional designers who have everything. I'm guiding them now. I'm training different IDs now. So I'm really,
Oh my
really
gosh.
happy. I'm overwhelmed actually. So I owe you a lot. That is what I would say. I don't even have a level 1 badge. So busy I am to even submit my work to an academy.
Well, badges are they're just bonuses, they're just the extra little badge, but the real badge is, can you go and get the job? And an extra badge would be are you so busy you don't have time to finish your portfolio? And as we know, portfolios are never done. So I want to know, Nancy, so you enrolled in the June cohort of 2020, right?
Yes.
And so from that time to how long after you enrolled did it take you to land your first? And you landed a senior role too. So I want to hear that part.
Okay.
You did this, and then you started applying when you got interviews, and then you landed your job when?
Yes, it's like a jackpot. Okay. I would say I am a person who is really, really lucky on earth. Okay. So I'm a person who's got a jackpot, because India people is accidental ID. Nobody is trained ID. So they found me really, really a gem of a person, because I knew everything, because you have nailed everything in this course. You have drafted everything properly in the course. When they asked me for the interview, I used to give the interview as if I'm a pro. So whatever the question they asked, I was ready with the answer. So that is where I was ready for interviews, and people started believing that I know ID perfectly, but I'm a zero in ID. But I learned everything from the academy. So that's a difference that I had. And it's even, I would say, I've put a lot of effort into it. I learned the theories properly, and even I use LinkedIn Learning also. And I followed each and every people that you have recommended. Whoever you are, I used to follow you very closely. Wherever the interviews that you're giving, I used to follow that person in LinkedIn. So, and then I used to Bell Vista Studio. You gave an interview in Bell Vista Studio. I used to follow the Bell Vista Studio. I used to follow each and every curriculum that they're doing. And if you're suggesting Catalyst, I used to follow Catalyst. If you're Ant Pug, if you talk about him, I'll go and follow his page next day. So that is how I started, and I started seeing their portfolio. What are the courses that they have done? I used to make a small module for myself. I used to write a storyboard out for similar to their concept. I used to write my own storyboard. I get the inspiration from the people you gave interviews. I started from the giants, I would say. They are the pioneers, the legends of ID, the Catalyst, and then Antpug and everybody. I started making my own small portfolio out of that. Even I have when I gave an interview for Accenture, I don't know whether I created a storyboard. They said your visual skills are really good. So that is where I gave first interview with Ernest Young. They said you have to little polish the articulate storyline. That time I did not know what is articulate storyline. Then I took up the free login idea, and then I started learning articulate storyline by myself. I know what is triggers now. What are the basics of articulate story? I learned. I self-taught myself. So I started with my own storyboard. I created storyboard using Canva. I did not use PowerPoint. I did not use Word or anything. I directly jump into the content. I do a visualization. And I have sent the storyboard also to Tabitha, which I submitted for my interview process. So this storyboards have given me a senior instructional role, because this is what was a requirement in India. People were not able to visualize. There was a gap between here we have a developer, instructional designer, and then the content will go to a developer. There was a gap, but here I'm able to do a developing part also. I do the developing as well as the instructional design. It's a dual here. So they are very happy to give me a senior role, because I do both. There is a cost cutting of that. They don't need a developer. External developer in India, they have biggest drawback is they don't understand the storyboard. There was a language skill gap, and they don't interpret the storyboard that is given by the ID. So this was a gap all the time. Even though they are very good in Articulate, they're exceptionally good with Adobe, Adobe Suite and everything, but still they cannot interpret and storyboard. So that gap was the biggest skill that I have. So that led me into the senior instructional design role.
Oh my gosh. So obviously you are a voracious learner. You are very hungry, and really that's like one of the best qualities of an instructional designer, Nancy. You really have had it in you all along. The fact that you just really know how to train yourself in a new topic. And so when you enrolled in June, and then when did you start actually applying? Was it like 1 month, 2 months? How long was it?
Applying for jobs is what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
I completely completed your course. Then only I started applying for the jobs. I completed the cohort actually. Then I started my job hunt in the month of October and November. June, July, August, September. Nearly after 4 months enrolling into the course, after knowing the basics and everything. But it was like a checklist that I had. I used to check it in the academy whether I'm going in the right path or not. I just used to, it's like a Google map for me. Okay, my destination is right. I know this. Okay, I used to put a checklist. Okay, whatever you say, I used to put a checklist. Okay, I know this. Then this one, next. It was like I know the theories. Then I know I don't have a portfolio. Okay, to be honest, I don't have a portfolio, but I have the assets ready. I have a storyboard. I have my documents ready, but I don't have a website link. Even I don't have money to get. Even I asked you also, can you get my refund back so that I can get my domain? At that time, I did not even have my money to buy my own domain to get my website. So I was in a very bad shape. So, but still every time to my clients or to my people, I used to send it in a zip document. This is my work. This is my portfolio. They were really happy because I designed the posters and all for instructor-led training and virtual trainings and all in a different way. Every time I put a mail for the learners, then for introductory of the course, it was a different approach that I tried. So different models and gamification, and I even an e-learning consultant for another organization. So that is a dual role that I'm playing now. Officially I'm working with an organization, and I'm also in a consultant for another learning platform also, where they really like my visual skills. I design a video based courses for them.
Oh my gosh. And I mean, the assets that I did see you do, Nancy, I mean, you just have such a good eye.
Yeah.
I mean, as well. I mean, you can just tell that, like, yes, you have been a voracious learner, but also like you have really paid attention to some really high quality work as far as visual design goes, because
Yes.
it's just on fire. So you started applying in October, and then you officially became an idol in what month?
In January, I've newly joined here. I got my appointment order on December. Officially, I got my, I was serving my notice period for another organization. Then I joined in December 29th into this role as a senior instructional designer. It's been 1 month now. So October, I joined as a consultant as well. I was working as a consultant, and it was like a paid projects. I was working for paid project. They liked my project, and they hired me as a full-time consultant. They are extending my contract now. Now I'm extended the contract for 6 months again. They really don't want to leave me. They said they wanted me to continue as a consultant now. So I'm working as a consultant dually, as well as a full-time role for the Tamil Nadu government. That is what Indian government I'm working with.
Oh my gosh. So not only did you land two jobs, you have two.
Yes. I
One
was
job, you have
nothing.
two.
I was a person who was very scared. I was scared of my future, whether I will get a job or not. I was like every woman on earth, right? But I was not, I was a person who was completely relying on my husband. I don't know anything. My husband was a sole breadwinner, and I'm educated, and I'm good, but outside appearance is really good. Always there is a small girl inside me who doesn't trust herself. But now I can say, if I lose my job tomorrow, also I don't bother. I'll get a freelancing job. I'll enroll in academy. I'll go for a boot camp in Idol Academy, how to start your own company. Even I'm eyeing on that one now, how to start my own freelancing firm. So I'm looking for that. So once I earn a little bit of money, I'm planning to start my own venture. And my only target is to come back to US or get a US client. If I need, I'll be the first Indian to get an US clients who is working like that, because I really wanted to get that fame. That is my only target that I have now, because there is no Indians who has got a freelancing client from US projects and all. Was individually, there are many people who are trying to get a project as a freelancer. So it'll be nice if I could get a client from that. I hope Idol Academy will help me to get a client. So I'll be really happy if they like my visual designs and everything. If I have one client of mine from US, I'll be really happy, because I'm doing a volunteering also for different countries. Also, Egypt, I have volunteered one project for Future Group. It's not a volunteering. I did a small storyboard for one of my clients from Egypt. So it is one of my international project that I've done. So I'm still looking forward actually to do more projects.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's just night and day for you, Nancy. I mean, you went from like, I don't know, I'm not sure I can do this, to I'm going to take over the world and set new records.
You have a magical wand, Robin. The only magical wand is to trust myself. So I really have to thank you for that. So,
and it's funny. It's like, that is the thing. That's like the first step. I've noticed, Nancy, for all the students, it's always the mindset barrier.
yes.
And then it's like, once that like goes away, which a lot of that, did you find that your confidence, it probably didn't come till you started doing the work, right? It's not like you can feel confident and then start learning, right?
Yes. I've reduced my weight. I started building my own portfolio. Now I was not preparing my portfolio because I was not conscious. So the way I was looking, I reduced my weight for that. Now you can see my LinkedIn activity is very high now. I've started building my own portfolio, like own photographs. So I'm working out actually. So I really wanted to build my portfolio now. So I'm ready now to give my portfolio ready. I have my assets ready. So I'm on the process of creating my own website.
Yeah. And I mean, you're right, Nancy. I mean, you really can land a job without having it on a website, as long as you have a links to assets.
Yes,
And so
yes.
I've seen that a couple of times. They just, like you said, they just want to see that you can do the work. And now, not only can you do the work of like just instructional design, you also are a developer. So now that you're in your role, did anything surprise you? Like like when they hired you to be a senior, like, were you surprised, like on the inside, but like played it cool? Or is there anything about your new job that kind of surprised you about what you thought it would be as far as, and then what it actually is?
Actually, I was scared of the lead instructional designer and all. I thought they are so something giant. I don't know anything. I'm going to be puny in front of them. But when they saw my work, they were really amazed. Actually, they said, "This is something new. We have never seen. Can we do this in Articulate?" This was a question that they asked me. I said, "Yes, we can do this in Articulate. Why not?" I was really amazed. Okay, I can do something different. I don't know that I can do this. I thought I'm nothing because they were all giant. They are from different countries. The company which I'm working with, she was in 13 years, 14 years of experience into ID. I was nothing, as you know, right, Robin? I'm nothing actually. But when I created a module, they said they have been working on the same module for the past 6, 7 months. But the output that I gave, which I joined within 1 week, they were really impressed. The management was really impressed. The stakeholders were impressed. I gave a new look to the visual design. Actually, they said they really like the look, the interface they like. I got a new look and feel of the course.
Oh my gosh. So maybe you're surprised about when you got your new role.
I really don't
Is
know that
that
I can do this. I really don't believe that I can do this because I really don't know. I don't know HTML. This project is entirely about coding, HTML, and then programming language. I'm not a coder, basically. I'm an engineering student, but I'm from an electronics background. But this HTML, I started learning HTML, and then I started giving this course to them. But I was able to interpret. Okay, I was able to divide the course. I was able to implement it. I was going according to the project management. I was doing it on the deadline. I don't know. I don't know how am I doing it.
Oh my gosh. Well, and I mean, would you say the difference has anything to do with the kind of education you got of instructional design? Like, where did these other instructional designers, like the one that does it for 14 years, where did she learn?
They are all I really don't know. Actually, they claim themselves as an ID actually, but they say they have 13 years of experience. That is what the management is really awestruck. Actually, I'm actually a pretty cheap package actually to them. They hired me for a consultant role, but I'm doing excellent. They have hired them with a very bigger package, but they are not matching their expectations. So that's the difference now. So they are asking me to come full time on a full time basis, but I said I cannot go on 2 full-time jobs, right? They're asking me to come on board as a full-time member.
So your surprise is that, oh, this is going to be hard. Oh, wait, I am a star employee.
Even now I'm scared, Robin. I'm really scared because I'm not little confident actually. But when the people say you are really good at, I still couldn't believe. I have to pinch myself and I have to check. Am I the one who did this? So I'm really seeing my course often. I used to see the way first storyboard of mine and this one and all. I used to compare. When I gave up an interview for Ernest Young, I was not able to qualify the interview. I was fully day and night. I was working for the interview, but still they said you have to work on your skills. I was really upset that day. I was really upset that when I was not able to. But now the moment when I see my own storyboard now, I'm really happy. See the way I'm creating a storyboard. So that's the difference that Idle course has made. Before that first interview, I did not enroll for Idle. So that's a difference between this Idle course and this one actually. How to make a storyboard.
You put in a ton of work, Nancy. Like, if you think about it, just like what you mentioned, you followed all the podcasts, you took the notes, you followed the people that I interviewed, you did LinkedIn learning, you did the academy, you talked to the coaches. I mean, you really, you accelerated your expertise is what you really did.
I'm a crazy fan of yours, Robin. I'm looking at you like a person who I really admire because you are a mother, you are doing wonderful job, you're a PhD holder. If you can do it, why can't I do it? So that is what you are giving us a big lesson. So that is what the biggest lesson that I've learned. A woman is capable of doing many things. If we are aligned to if we want to achieve something, we can really do it. But we need a lead, actually, someone to show us this is how we have to do it.
Oh my gosh. And I am just swollen with pride to know that I had any part of your journey, Nancy, because You really are just as excellent as your bosses say.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So I'm sure that everybody wants to. I've heard you drop like some really insightful things about the way that you made the transition and taught yourself. So if you're going to give, some last piece of wisdom and advice, what would you tell those that want to become an idol? What would you tell them to do? I mean, is it a mindset thing? Is it a way that you studied? Like, what's like your best advice there, Nancy?
I had a mate actually, like she's from Netherlands, I think. When I enrolled in the course, I had a friend. Okay, she was so spirited more than me. She was inspiring me actually. I set a target that I have to complete my storyboard. I have to get my first batch. Like that, we used to plan accordingly. So it was like this was the best thing that we had in Idol. Like we can find our friends of the same the sinking mindset and all. We motivate each other. I never thought I'll have a friendship with an other country person. She was really inspiring me. And then something went wrong. Life went this side bad, but still I was able to follow. I kept on. Okay, I have to follow this. I made my planning ready, and she said she was not able to do it. But when I achieved something, she came back to me and she said, "Congrats." She was the first person to congratulate me. She said, "Nancy, you kept up your planning properly." But I'm sorry, we planned together that we have to get our idol first batch, we have to complete these assignments. This process that you had was really good. The pure interactions actually. I don't know the language. I'm not a native English speaker. Again and again, I'm saying this because I've never spoken to people. I'm an introvert basically. I've never communicated to people. I don't know how to talk to strangers. In Facebook, this is the first time I'm doing that. And she was very friendly to me. She motivated me actually. She was inspiring me. She used to submit this or scenario based everything. She used to try whatever that you're putting into the academy. She used to follow that. She's from a different time zone. So make sure your mates are really good. That is a piece of advice that I wanted to give you. It's all about your friends that you make in the group. They are really the backbone of your success. It's a healthy competition that we have. If she's getting an idle batch one, we'll make sure that we get the idle batch two. Sorry, level two batch. It's like a healthy competition that we have in the group. It's really good that you have planned something like a peer competition actually. So that's a piece of advice. Always have a healthy competition. So you'll really achieve what you want much faster than what you plan.
I love that. I love that advice. So it's about who you surround yourself
Yes.
with on your journey that can really help support you and get you there faster.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's so many times, you can make a plan for yourself.
Yeah.
But if nobody knows about your plan, then you can disappoint yourself and it's not a big deal. But if you know somebody else knows about your plans and they're going to hold you accountable to those plans, then you're more motivated to not want to disappoint your friend or your accountability buddy or whoever that is.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. That is great. Nancy, I am just so glad that you came and shared your story. You made me cry, which is a first on this podcast. And I'm just so excited just to see you get your first US client.
I want to be a mentor in Idol. That is the biggest achievement. I am working on it, Robin. I'm working towards it. I'm working really hard. So let my contract get over. I'll get on board. I'll get my badges first. So still I'm making my things ready now. So I'll get my batch by this month at least. So Idol e-learning batches. So then I'll proudly put all the batches in my LinkedIn. Then I'll come back to you asking for a mentor position.
And I will give it to you.
Sure.
I will proudly, happily be honored to have you mentor our new Academy members.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Nancy. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening. You can find the show notes for this episode at idlecourses.com. If you like this podcast and you want to become an instructional designer and online learning developer, join me in the Idle Courses Academy, where you'll learn to build all the assets you need to land your first instructional design job, early access to this podcast, tutorials for how to use the e-learning authoring tools, templates for everything course building, and paid instructional design experience opportunities. Go to idlecourses.com/academy and enroll or get on the wait list. Now get out there and build transcendent courses.